Hello and welcome to Holiday Horror Reviews. I'm the Ghostess of Christmas Past, and nothing says haul out the holly to me like getting scared out of my fuzzy slippers. Throughout December, I'll be revisiting the movies that prove someone breaking into your house on Christmas Eve probably isn't delivering gifts. Tonight we'll travel all the way to 1974 and stop in 2006 on our way back so I can review the original and the remake of Black Christmas. Like your Brady kids opening presents on Christmas morning, this movie is about to be spoiled. You have been warned. If you're a horror fan and you haven't seen the 1974 Black Christmas, then you are missing out on something that deeply changed the game for the genre. This Canadian slasher was one of the earliest of its kind, basically created the sorority house massacre category, coined the movie line, "The calls are coming from the house," and is known to be one of the first where the killer gets away at the end unrevealed. Shots use the killer's POV, forcing the audience to stalk and kill along with him. All you ever see of his face is a bright strip of light cast across his eye, emphasizing the disturbing level of voyeurism the audience is forced to partake in while watching the movie. The sorority spends a majority of the plot trying to track down one of their missing sisters, the killer's first victim, who is dead in the attic unbeknownst to them. With the help of the missing girl's father, they work with police trying to figure out exactly what happened to their friend, all the while receiving lewd and bizarre phone calls from a strange-speaking maniac. The film misleads you into thinking you know who the killer is, only to have it revealed in the end that the main character's boyfriend was a massive douchebag. The real killer is left to spend Christmas alone in the attic, surrounded by all of his victims. At least someone got to have a happy holiday. It's one of the few Christmas horror movies that takes things very realistically and seriously, and that's honestly pretty refreshing in comparison to what I've watched this season. Great acting really helps you feel for the characters, and you see how different types of people manage themselves under situations of stress, panic, fear, and grief. With very creative kills, escalating, unsettling phone calls, and all of these tension-filled scenes where someone's watching someone when somebody else doesn't know about it, it's not really something I recommend watching alone at night, so I don't really know why I did that to myself. It's got very few flaws, none that would be worth mentioning that wouldn't just be nitpicking. It's a Christmas slasher that is at the very top of my list, earning it the rare title of 10 out of 10 spookies. So, how does the 2006 version measure up? Well, we still got a sorority house and a star-studded cast. Instead of a father looking for his missing daughter, we have a woman looking for her younger sister. Instead of a subplot about an abortion, we have a subplot about internet revenge porn. Still have a douchebag boyfriend, though, only it doesn't really make sense here because you're never led to think he's the killer. Instead of a slow, several-day building mystery that involves the police, we have a one night with a storm so bad the police can't get through, although outside seems to look more like a typical winter night in Wisconsin, but maybe we have different definitions of storm. And instead of a killer whose identity is shrouded in mystery and only ever hinted at, we have an extremely detailed backstory that takes up a third of the film's running time. Being a huge fan of the original, I understand imagining what the backstory of the killer might actually have been, but I'm not so sure about writer and director Glenn Morgan's vision here. Our killer is Billy, born with a yellow skin disease, making him look like the yellow bastard from Sin City, who witnesses his mother and her new boyfriend murder his father, just like in Tommy. He gets locked in the attic to keep him from going to go get help, like in Cinderella, and gets raped by his mother to father a new child, like in something super fucked up. Did they ever find out why he killed his family? Someone in the movie actually asks that after hearing this story. One Christmas he finally snaps and goes on an eye-gouging, stabbing, cannibal, cookie-making murder spree. So Billy gets sent to an insane asylum. His sister-daughter Agnes is sent to foster care, and the 6-bedroom mansion that this white trash 4-person incest murder family lived in is bought by the sorority house. Every Christmas even, it's a tradition that the sisters give a secret Santa present to Billy the killer. And this year, it just so happens, Billy finally escapes the world's most lax security mental asylum for the criminally insane and heads on home. It's hinted through awkward exposition and flashbacks that Billy's sister daughter might be part of the sorority, except no, actually, never mind. They abandoned that like halfway through and just have Agnes be some psycho who's coincidentally moved into their attic and decided to start murder spreeing sorority sisters the same day her brother dad returned home. If you are a fan of the original, the remake is pretty frustrating to watch. You get little hints and touches that show Morgan really loved the first one, but they are brought up in a way that makes me think the director missed the point of the original. You end up rushing through character development to give us more backstory that only makes the killer seem sillier instead of scarier. It aims to have way more gore and be more shocking with its content, but it also loses the sort of substance that makes that terror stay with you after the popcorn goes cold. The writing is stilted and the characters are pretty interchangeable personality wise, despite what the exposition dialogue says the characters are supposed to be. But it at least tries to stick to a theme about the importance of family, I guess, so points. The killer has such a ridiculous backstory, and the plots come together in such an idiotic way. But there are also multiple cuts of the film, which usually tells you there were some struggles behind the scenes. It has a couple so bad it's good laughs, especially when it comes to the decision-making skills of our heroines, but it's mostly a corny, forgettable slasher from the early thousands that I wouldn't recommend. 3 out of 10 spookies. If you enjoyed this holiday horror review, please like, share, and subscribe. Haunt me at the Ghostess on Twitter, and read more of my thoughts on the movie at theghostessreviews.com. Boo for now.